Okay. And then we were also talking about when we talk about how to heal and the notion of layers and that takes a certain amount of finesse to be able to perceive the essence or the layer. And I don't know if you want to say something to that, because
it's like this. There are two ways of looking at a human being. One, what he is naturally, a natural original being of him.
Mm-hmm.
And one, what is imprinted on him, whether a state or an illness.
Mm-hmm.
From the outside. The natural state means that original state of you, which is constant in different stage of your life, different situations of your life, different condition of your life, in different illness of your life. Let's call that natural as essence or individuality. And there's another that we have an imprint. Our age, our upbringing, our religion, our society, knowledge have an imprint on us. Let's call it personality, a person, which comes from a word persona, mask. So now there are two ways of treating. One, remove the personality, persona, one by one, which are many.
Yeah.
Because
so the onion layer kind of
layer, which certain school in here, like a school in Greece, they suggest about it that treat one by one. So what they do is they focus on present predominant picture, and they take that layer, remove it. Take that layer. The Eastern school or the Eastern thinking belief that go to the stem and the root, the essence or the individuality. So when you take the case, find out those characteristics which are natural to you in different stage, different situation, different condition, as well as in illness. And based on that trait which is coming up, a pattern, then match your remedy with that. And if it is correct, what this will do is, from a cell to biochemistry to body to mind, wherever there is disturbance, it will correct it. It will bring you back to the original state like a mirror.
So my understanding is that in prescribing in this way, you have to be careful, because if there's too many layers, you can't go too fast into the essence. Is that correct?
But you're talking about the essence, the guy who's looking at the natural.
Yeah, I mean, like, what we see is that this aggravation, right? My understanding is if you go too deep, too quick, then you might disturb the system too much.
No. What we are doing in homeopathic interview, any right homeopathic interview, we give them an open space. We tell them to go wherever you can.
Yeah, okay.
Right? We tell them illness, okay. Childhood, wherever.
Okay.
Then what we do when we start guiding them, we tell them, go to your early childhood. Go to your profession. Go to your dreams. Go to your, incident which affected you. The very fact that we take them to this many areas, we are trying to understand that natural, individualistic them.
It's interesting because when you go back to childhood and things like that, there's a very psychological aspect to homeopathy, which I think is often not really talked about and maybe not taught well enough, I feel, in colleges, because there's a huge component of psychology in understanding the persona, the weight of childhood and things like that.
And they should be taught according to me. For example, Ericson Milton, the way he was one of the client-centric approach man in the psychology. If you read his book, one of the book is My Voice Will Go With You. And there are around 50 cases by him, by his student. And many of them, he is not given the therapy. He had created exact similar situation and left them. And they improved.
Okay, yes.
For example, Carl Roger, he speaks about that you and your client come together for a purpose. And purpose is not only to treat him, but also to take you to a next higher level. So if you match well, both of you will go. Otherwise, you will do only intellectual case taking. The Gestalt therapy, that you look for a pattern, in difference, and then give a therapy according to that pattern and not just on the present pattern. So
very similarities there.
Very lot of. So I think homeopath, the more, see, that's why I said if homeopathic people read only homeopathic book, they will be fundamentalist, a box-centric. What they need to do, all parallel science, then they understand, and not only science, alternative therapies, even to level of physics and everything. The more they read, they'll understand the principle more better. Their belief system would be more deeper in these principles. Like what you are doing. You didn't stop that dilution work. What you did, you didn't went with the existed probable theory in homeopathy what other masters are speaking for 250 years. What you did, you checked all the research happening in last 20-30 years. Probable 15 you came and you looked into each and your center about dilution. So you went into that deeper from every possible perspective. This is what homeopath need to do. But why you are able to do it? Because you've done, your interest is there, you've done.
So it's interesting, what you're saying about having all the multiple interests and the training as well in multiple disciplines to be able to do, like for me, to be able to understand physics and homeopathy, and therefore to be looking at the theories of homeopathy.